guys, it's Becca back for another one of Becca's books. You might be wondering why there's lipstick all over my face, and that's because we just filmed a makeup book tag and I did Mike's makeup and he like smothered me. See how big his lips are? So I'll link that down below if we've posted it so you can check it out because it's freaking hilarious. Anyway, I am going to be reviewing Bad Romance by Heather Demetrios. This is a YA contemporary book, basically about an abusive relationship. It's a second-person novel, and we follow Grace through her abusive relationship with Gavin. Now, I buddy read this with Mel Moriarty. She is amazing. I'll leave her link down below, as well as her review of this book. She did a really long, comprehensive review, and it's wonderful. Mine's gonna be a little more short and sweet, so if you want more of this book, I would go check that out. Overall, I gave this book a solid 4 stars. I thought it was great representation of an abusive relationship. At first, Grace isn't very likable, and you just see this happening like right from the beginning, and you kind of like Gavin. You kind of like the character you're not supposed to.
Is it bad that I totally like Gavin more than Grace at this point? Grace is kind of on my nerves a little bit.
But the brilliant thing about it is you're seeing it through her eyes. She has these rose-tainted eyes. She's seeing this guy as this heavenly guy that obviously she wants to be with. So in a way, it's really well done in the fact that you want to like him in the beginning, and at the same time, you're slowly watching this car crash. It's like watching a car crash, and it's so cringy. I did a Snapchat buddy read, and I remember snapping her pages of the books and drawing red flags everywhere because there are just so many red flags, and you just are like, no, why? Listen to them.
Listen to yourself. Get out of the relationship.
But at the same time, Grace, our main character, second person is kind of her looking back and kind of taking you through this relationship, and she's going back saying, I was an idiot, I should have listened to my friends, why did I ever think this was good? And it's really, really well done. And the thing that I really loved about the abusive nature of this relationship is that it wasn't a physical abuse. Physical abuse is a really easy thing to see in a book or see in a movie and be like, that guy is awful. It's pretty black or white, but the abuse in this book is more of a gray area. But at the same time, you know it's abuse.
He did not just do that to her. I'm gonna...
You know what he's doing is wrong, and the relationship she is in is awful, and then it just makes it even more cringy to watch. You're just like, get out of this relationship. So, and it just made such a great reading experience. Also, Demetrios' writing is so good. I absolutely loved the writing style. It made me want to read more. While I did have some pacing issues with the book, it was still so well written. You can clearly tell that she has personal experience with the issue at hand, and she did a great job taking us through this relationship. Another positive thing in this book that I absolutely loved was the positive female relationships. All of her friends are there for her the whole novel. They stick with her. They're constantly telling her what a terrible guy this is and kind of throwing the red flags back in her face, and eventually she like gets on their side with, yeah, you're right, and they team up, and I absolutely love that. That's so much more realistic. I'm always for positive female relationships in novels, especially in YA contemporaries. The reason I did dock this a star is I had a huge issue with her home life. It was completely unbelievable to me. It really took me out of the story and kind of hindered my reading experience when I got to her home life. It just seemed really unrealistic. They describe her mother as OCD, and she's not at all. I wouldn't even consider her obsessive compulsive with the way she treats Grace and the way she handles her OCD. That is not OCD. That is a disorder called bitch. It really drove me nuts, and she was just an awful person. They made her mom this villain, but at the same time they made her a victim. But it wasn't ever a full character. There was just I can go on about it. I had so many issues with the home life. I can see why it kind of needed to play into the story. It just really wasn't well done at all. Another thing that I really liked was that the antagonist, Gavin, the abuser, he has issues, and they're addressed. Like, he has depression and suicide tendencies, and they actually address this book. They tell him, like, you need to get help, and he does, and he gets on medication. And I think you never see that. You just the guy is always crazy and he's just left crazy. And so the fact that they address that he has mental issues and that he needs to seek help and that people are there for him, including his family, it was a big deal, and I really liked that they did that. But yeah, I wanted to make this a quick, short, and sweet review just because I have a lot of things to say about this book, and I think it needs to be out there, and I think it's such an important message and that more people need to read it. I highly recommend this book. It is such a cringy, roadkill watching kind of book, and you will absolutely love it. So thank you so much for watching, guys. If you liked this video and want to see more short spoiler-free reviews, please give this video a thumbs up and let me know down in the comments. Per usual, Mike will be back in our next video, so go ahead and subscribe to see him there. I will see you guys later. Bye.